Welcome to Catholic Views, where we get to know the faith and those who live it. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. On today's show, we will have Father Mark Lichter back with us. He's going to tell us the story of his call to be a priest. He is the parochial vicar at the Divine Mercy Pastorate in Sioux Falls, which includes St. Mary, Christ the King, and JP2 parishes. He's fairly well known around the diocese because he's been around a little while, not as long as some priests his age, because he did come into the priesthood a little later. But he's well known because he's been to some small parishes, some bigger parishes. So I hope you'll stick around for his story. First, we have Father. It's always something. Shall I call you Bishop too?
You've done that before, almost.
Dr. Chris Bergwald here for Biblical Bites with Dr. B.
We're going to jump right in because Father Mark can talk, I know, so I'm sure not much time. Father Mark's a great guy.
Yes.
27th Sunday in Ordinary Time.
Yeah.
Only how many to go, Renee?
7.
Yes. End of the liturgical year is coming quickly.
Yes.
Year B for now. Mm-hmm. So what will be in next year?
I have to say year C.
You would be correct. And what gospel is that from?
Oh,
James, maybe?
No, shush. I'm going to guess Matthew.
Really?
Okay, Luke.
Matthew, Mark, Luke. A, B, C. Matthew, Mark, Luke.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it goes in the order of
I didn't realize.
that you find in it.
And I'm not good at the orders.
And there's no Gospel of James either, just for our listeners. Don't get confused.
You know, you left that alone in the last one.
I don't know
Thanks.
what you're talking about, Renee. So this last week we went with James because James brought it. Mm-hmm. Jesus has been bringing it too. I said that last week. This week, actually, I'm less jokey. The end of the Bread of Life discourse in John chapter 6, which we heard earlier back in August. A lot of the disciples who are following Jesus say, "This is a hard saying. Who can take it? Who can understand it? Who can follow it?" And they stop following Jesus. I think we get one of those in Mark's gospel today.
Oh, okay. You think or you know? Okay.
This is how it starts, Renee. You tell me as soon as you know why I say that.
Okay.
The Pharisees approached Jesus and asked, "Is it lawful for a husband to divorce his wife?" Mm-hmm. Do I need to go on? So this is the teaching on divorce and remarriage, and in the middle of which Jesus says, so in the house they have this back and forth. What?
No. Is it the you hypocrite? Okay.
No. It's so they have the back and forth because of hardness of heart. Mm-hmm. Moses allowed divorce, but from the beginning of creation, it wasn't so. Therefore, what God has joined together, no human being must separate. In the house, the disciples again questioned Jesus about this. He said to them, "Whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery against her. And if she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery." And then he goes on with this cute little story about children. But I think for a lot of people today, including a lot of Catholics, this is a hard teaching.
Well, because divorce is so prevalent.
Because divorce is so prevalent. So the thing that I want to say about this now is I think it is, for many people, incredibly difficult at times, and in some cases, a lot of the time, to remain married. I mean, marriage usually starts off as this wonderful thing, but just the reality of our fallen nature and the reality of trying to enter into a lifelong relationship. There are a lot of people, we know people, our parents in both cases, we know people who, and friends and other family members who just have found it too difficult.
Right.
And the catechism, I didn't bring the catechism because I didn't want to get bogged down by reading it, but the catechism here talks, basically I'm going to paraphrase, if we're relying on our own strength, it is.
We won't make it.
We won't make it.
No.
There are a few people who just had a natural area, but we don't need to, and we shouldn't rely on our own strength. If a marriage between two baptized people is a sacramental marriage, there are graces there, but they don't flow automatically. We have to call upon them, if you will. We have to draw upon them. We have to ask the Lord for strength and endurance, but he will provide it. It is, in many cases, hard to remain married your entire life to the same person, but God does not ask us to do it by ourselves.
Yeah, we need to call on him often.
Yep.
Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.